different accounts to be able to generate interest. So that is I guess, something we're looking into. I don't know if there's anything in writing because it's so preliminary. I just talked to you about it the other day.
Yeah, my experience has been that I know that there's a deposit insurance amount, but
$250,000.
Yeah, but also when you're running a large corporation, quite often you have a policy that indicates how idle funds are to be used. And I know that if you buy short-term deposits of something or other, whether it's the Bank of America or TD, if those people go down, the world's going to go down. Thank you.
All right.
Understood.
Just one point. Now, I'm pretty young. I have a math degree, but I will tell you I'm not an accountant, and I didn't understand 10% of that conversation. Maybe you understood some more of it. I'm going to suggest that technical people who have this depth of knowledge come in and talk to the accountant. All right? CPA to CPA. Everybody in the room understands what's going on. All right? Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, basically all he was saying was taking the reserve funds and putting them in interest-bearing accounts. Right now it's in something called an ICS, which basically BB&T splits it across a bunch of different accounts, so that way it still remains FDIC insured. Though when you do that, they don't want to participate in the interest. So you have two options. You have one ICS with BB&T, or you have 14 different bank accounts and tracking 4 different things. So 14 different accounts. So there's there's pros and cons to it. But when he brought it up, we said we would look into it, and so we still will.
Any other questions for the treasurer, Sebastian? Sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, we can't hear a thing you're saying.
He's asking, when's the CPA to CPA meeting happening? I think he was just referring to any residents that were CPAs that wanted to come into the office to have a lively accounting discussion. I think that's what it was for.
Anyone can pick up a phone and make an appointment with the treasurer and with Sebastian. Americo, for example, who was just here, has been in 2 or 3 times. All right? And that's where to get into the nitty-gritty and in-depth issues of how the accounting system is working. All right?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
This is not technical. I just want to remind a lot of us who've been around that at one time we had more than one account for reserves and they were broken up. At that point, we were able to earn interest on the money. So it's a question of what's easier or what produces income. It's not a technical point. It's a simple point.
And we'll continue to look into that. Thank you, sir.
All right. We have a lot of money in the bank, folks. That's why we go through these ICS sweeps, and the money is scattered around electronically to different banks so that we never exceed the $250K cap on FDIC insurance. Now, you can talk about nickels and dimes for interest. Should a bank that we have too much money in go under, and they do go under. We've had banks go under right here in West Palm Beach. I'm sure some of you know that. And then any excess over that $250K, you have to go through hell and high water, and maybe you get that money back and maybe you don't. So that's why we have this complex system where the funds are spread around. Okay?
Oh, and I just had one last announcement that all the information for the 2017 audit has been turned over to the CPA, so he has all of that information.
Yeah, this is going to be to make up for last year's audit being a year late. We tried to get this one early. Any other questions for our treasurer?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right. The next thing I would like to do is bring up the issue of Bob Marshall, who many of you know has resigned from office, and this is a matter of poor health. He thought long and hard about it, and we have his signed resignation. The way things go in our bylaws, the officers committee appoints a replacement to fill out the unexpired term. This is subject to the approval of the delegate assembly. I also took the step of having the executive board vote on it, and it was unanimous with one abstention. It wasn't necessary. I did not have to go to the executive board. But we have a quorum today, so I would like to call for a motion to appoint Barbara Cornish to fill the unexpired term of Bob Marshall, which is a year from March. Yes? All right. Betty Blackman has made the motion, and Herb Finkelstein has seconded it, and now we are in discussion. Please come up to the mic. Now, Barbara, would you like to make any comments? Okay, Barbara. It doesn't look like there are any questions, so we'll have Ken put it up on the screen, please. All right, so please push the appropriate button. Yes, no, or abstain. Is there a time limit on this, Ken? No, okay. Yeah, probably should be a time limit, but has everyone cast their vote? Please, because we don't have a time clock running on this. All right, last shot. Please, if you haven't cast your vote, please do so. It's a pretty good response. All right, go ahead, Ken. Oh. Well, congratulations, Barbara. Vice President of UCO, Barbara. All right. All right, I think Barbara has had much experience. She puts a lot of time in at UCO, and I think she will be an excellent choice. Now, I am going to turn this over to Nita Buchanan. Nita, and we are going to take nominations from the floor. Grievous oversight, and my apologies. About 3 or 4 days ago, Howard Silver, former VP in UCO, well-known by computer users and a member of the computer club, who has given much service to our community over many years, passed away. All right, and we rightly should recognize him here. I'm sorry, Phyllis, you're absolutely right. My oversight. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, thank
It's all
you.
yours.
Good morning, everybody. First, congratulations to Barbara Cornish. You keep trying to get out, and we keep pulling you back in. Also-
Anita,
Yes.
Anita, can I do one thing?
Yes,
Another oversight.
sure.
And I talked about Bob Marshall, and we had our vote, but I forgot I have a nice award here in recognition of his many years of service. Bob is not here, and so hopefully I'm going to present this now to Molly, his beloved wife, to take home to him. Can we get a picture, please? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I'm going to take it to the rehab center where he currently is, so everybody will know how great he was.
Yes. Okay, thank you. And Molly, you weren't here last month, but you would have heard how respected and loved Bob is in the village. So,
I heard.
good, I'm glad. Okay, nominations from the floor. Welcome to the 2018 edition. I'm going to start. I know we're going to be short on time. I'm going to start by introducing the members of the Search Nominations Committee who are going to be recording the nominations today. First of all, at this table on the left, we have Reese and Dries. We have Joyce Reese and Ruth Dries, who will be taking all the information. And on the table on the right, we have Freitz and Foster. So, there also, that's Pamela Freitz and Christine Foster, who will be taking the information. Sounds like the beginning of a law firm. Okay. I want to thank them, and I also want to thank all the members of the Search Nomination Committee who did an outstanding job this year. Also thanks to Joy and the entire communications team. Also to the UCO staff and volunteers who helped us get ready for today. Okay, I'm going to announce the names of the people who have submitted their biographies. By submitting their biographies, they are automatically candidates for election. This is alphabetical. For president, Jack Adams, Dave Israel, Marcia Zaccardi. Vice president, David Boaz, Phyllis Richland, Joy Vestal, and Louise Warner. Treasurer, Ed Black. Corresponding secretary, Sandy Cooper. Recording secretary, John Hess. Executive board, Christine Armour. George Franklin. Dom Garnagia. Roger Hodeling. Bobby Levin. Laurie Torres. And Hayward Williams. Thanks to all of you for being willing to serve. I'm going to go through the nominating process very quickly. There's also a sheet in your delegate packet that has information if you want to refer to that. You can ask questions when I'm done. You don't need to memorize it. We're going to walk you through the process every step of the way. First of all, any unit owner in good standing is eligible to be nominated, not just delegates. You must be a signed-in delegate to nominate or second. Your candidate must be present in order to be nominated. We'll take nominations by position and close nominations by position. You can go to either table and mic, either one, and we're going to ask you to use both. It'll avoid a crush at one of the other of the mics. If you happen to be sitting on this side and you want to make a nomination, and there's a crush, we may ask you to just walk across to the other table. If you are a delegate, please bring your clicker with you, just as an indicator that you are signed in. If you are not a delegate, please present your Century Village ID when you come to the microphones. When you nominate or second, you also come to one of the mics on either side and state your name and association, your nominee's name and association, and the office you're nominating for. Sort of, I, Jane Doe of Camden Bee Association, nominate Mary Smith of Somerset I for president of UCO. You notice I just played the woman card. When you accept a nomination, state your name and association and the office you're accepting, obviously. The nominee can decline from the audience, but you come up if you accept. The recorders will double-check your names against the sign-in sheets for the delegate meeting, and this is new. Once you have nominated someone, and if you have others to nominate for the same position, please go to the end of the line to make another nomination, so we have things work a little bit more smoothly. Let's see what else we have here. The recorders will take down all of the information, and I'm going to ask everybody to please be patient. This is going to take some time. You've been through the process before, most of you, and you know. And if you remember last year, it got pretty chaotic, so we're going to really walk through it carefully and make sure we get it right. Ruth, Joyce, Pam, and Christine will give nominees a voluntary declaration to sign stating 9 months residency each year and their availability to serve on at least 2 committees. Nominees will also get written instructions for emailing their bios to Ruth Dries so that you can get them in by Sunday. They've got to be in by Sunday in order to count. After the delegates meeting, I understand Bob Rivera, our photographer, will you stand up so everybody will know who you are? You're going to take photos right here? Okay, all right. What we said in all of the literature so far was that it was going to be done in the lobby. Now you'll do it here. And John Gregg also asked me to announce that nominees, if you go to the lobby after the meeting, you can talk to him about setting up an interview for Channel 63 and 95. Some of those interviews for the people who submitted their bios are already there. So please do that if you'd like to be interviewed. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Any questions from any of the nominees or the audience? Ready? Okay, let's go. Let's open the nominations for the 2018 UCO elections, and I'm going to start by opening the nominations for UCO president. Do I have any new nominations for UCO president? I see somebody standing up. Hello? Can you please come to the mic, please?
It's right there.
You walked right by it. It's okay.
I thought you wanted to record it. James Caulfield, Andover B. I'd like to nominate Dom Gunarja for president.
Okay. He appreciates the good thought, but he is declining. Okay.
Okay, Randall. I'd like to nominate you for president.
Do you accept, Randall?
What, one nomination? He said to the back of the line. I'm to the back of the line.
Ra-
Suggest that whoever does nominations gets the approval of the nominee.
That's an excellent idea.
Sorry, sir, you're 0 for 2. Okay. Do I have any more nominations for president? Okay. The nominations for UCO president are hereby closed. I'm now going to open the nominations for vice president. Do we have any nominations for vice president? No takers. Okay. We do have 4 people who are running already, so it will be somewhat competitive since we only need 2, but there are no more. I'm going to close the nominations for vice president. Okay. The next one is treasurer. Do I have any nominations for UCO treasurer? Marilyn.
Marilyn Pomerantz, Chatham C. I nominate Ed Grossman for treasurer of UCO.
If you have to stand up in second, please. Wait a second, Esther, since we've got to finish the seconds and the acceptances. Right to the mic, please, so everybody can hear you.
Golf's Edge, Cookie Courier. I second it.
You second what? You have to say what you're seconding.
Ed Grossman.
The nomination for treasurer. Okay, the nominee has to come up and accept at the mic first, please.
I'm Ed Grossman, Wellington A, and I gratefully accept the nomination.
Okay. Okay. So Ed, you fill out the paperwork, please? And the recorders will tell me when you're done.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Right, okay. Thanks. I told you it would take a little bit of time. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. They can finish the paperwork over there. Okay. You have a nomination, Esther?
The treasurer.
Yes, please.
Okay, Esther Satowski, Wellington E. I don't even know if he's still here. I didn't even catch the last name. I'd like to nominate Americo, if he would accept it, for treasurer.
Oh, okay, I thought,
You can't?
wait a minute, Ruth? Ruth, they're taking
Lost
Ed over
us.
there. They're taking Ed at the other table. Thank you. Okay, Ed, I'm
Hold
sorry,
on.
Esther.
I would like to reiterate what Randall said. That's not a joke. Don't nominate people who you haven't talked to. It's ridiculous. Right? You put them on the spot for no reasonable purpose. Now, if you're going to nominate someone, find out in advance before you nominate them. All right, go ahead, Anita.
Okay, do I understand that Amerigo said no? Okay. Oh, he's not here? He what? Okay. Seasonal resident, okay. So he can't be nominated. I understand, thank you. Okay. Do we have any more nominations for treasurer? I'm going to close the nominations for treasurer. And now I'm going to open the nominations for corresponding secretary. Do I have any nominations for corresponding secretary? This is a smooth running nominations from the floor, isn't it? Okay. If we have no nominations from the floor for corresponding secretary, I close those nominations. I'm going to open the nominations for recording secretary. Do I have any nominations for recording secretary? Going, gone. Anybody? Okay, no. All right. I'm going to close the nominations for recording secretary. Now for the executive board. I'm going to open the nominations for executive board. Nobody? Oh, okay. Cookie, do you have a nomination?
Nomination for executive board, this is Cookie Courier, Golf's Edge, Marilyn Pomerantz of Chatham C for executive board.
Come up in
Second.
second, please. Come up in second.
I second it.
Okay, thank you. And Marilyn, you need to come up and accept.
Yes, I am signing. I'm on this side of the paper.
Marilyn Pomerantz, I accept the position for executive board.
Okay. Okay. Do we have a problem?
I did sign. Why don't you go ask?
Oh, okay, hold on. Hold on.
I signed in, I got a clicker.
Okay, she has a clicker. We know that we know who she is. But let's resolve that, and if we still have a problem, we'll go back to Esther, okay? Okay. Are there